Tony D and Little Joan somewhere in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on three movies that are driven, well, three trailers that are driven by stars. One is The Surfer, starring Nicolas Cage. Another is called Running Point, starring Kate Hudson, and that's a comedy series. And this is Holland, starring Nicole Kidman. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 16, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget Kindle Unlimited is free. All right. Book 17 dropping very soon. I got to get back to editing that. So this is Nick Cage in a very Nick Cage role. He plays an older guy who wants to take his son to a beach where he used to surf. And there are a bunch of local Australian guys who are, for some insane reason, making it impossible for him to have a nice day at the beach. I don't know why. I don't know why these guys exist only in the movies. I've never actually met any of them. But apparently they just keep badgering him and they steal his surfboard and they make fun of him, and eventually he goes nuts and probably kills them all, is my guess, because he's Nick Cage. He's gonna Nick Cage it up. So the idea is slowly throughout the course of, say, the first act, right? He first tries to be reasonable with them, and they just keep doing stuff to him. I think they steal his dog, maybe kill it. And then the second act is he kind of gets to surf, but then the guys steal his board, and they keep like just messing with him until finally he snaps, probably about 2/3 of the way into the movie. This spring, only in theaters. And then he just goes nuts and like kills them all. Here he is force feeding a rat to a guy. Because like his life gets kind of ruined with these bully idiots. It looks cool. I wouldn't mind watching it, but it's a little like too on the nose for the Nick Cage brand. Him going nuts. It seems a little too simple. And it seems a little forced too. Like, I don't know why the guys on the beach just don't let him and his son surf. Like, what's the big deal? It's a giant ocean. It's a giant beach. So I don't really get the problem with the bullies. Let's see. Is there a right up here? No. I looked at this trailer a few weeks back, and I don't think I ever did anything on it. I checked my list. Yeah, see, it's 2004. When a man returns to his beach hometown in Australia, he is humiliated in front of his teenage son by a local group of surfers who claim ownership over the secluded beach of his childhood. Director Lorcan Finnegan and writer Thomas Martin. I don't know. I think there ought to be more of a reason for him to go nuts. More of a reason for the bullies to be there. Like, listen, you know, maybe they got some girls there and they don't want to have to, like, you know, share the beach with this guy and his son because they're trying to impress the girls or something. I don't know. It just feels like it feels like they're going out of their way just to make this guy mad just so the movie could happen. But that being said, I do love me a good Nick Cage movie. So it's going to be a tough pick here. Number 2 is Running Point. This is a comedy series about a family that runs a sports team called the Waves. It's a basketball team. It's supposed to be like the LA Lakers. And Kate Hudson has to take over the team after her brother is injured. And the other guys who work on the team are kind of dopes. This guy's super young. I think this is the guy from, I'm almost sure he's the same guy from that series with Caitlin Olsen. Oh, he played Jimmy. Let's see if it's him. Yeah, here it is, Running Point. Is that the same guy? Okay, Drew. All right, Scott MacArthur. Let's see. I think that's the same guy. Florida Man. Yeah, let's see. No Hard Feelings. Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah, he's also in that movie with, oh gosh, Jennifer Lawrence. He always plays kind of like a sleazy guy. He's pretty good. He's not bad. He's very funny. But you know who's not very funny? Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, I think, is a complete stiff in this trailer. Yeah, that's Jimmy. Jimmy from the Caitlin Olsen show. It was almost like a spinoff of It's Always Sunny because he basically plays Sweet D. And so they run a basketball team and like, oh, the woman's in charge now. There's a little bit of that vibe. And this is her assistant. And she's like a bad bee. Oh, executive producer Mindy Kaling. Gee, I wonder why it's got that kind of message in it. Mindy Kaling is actually kind of funny, so I wouldn't be surprised if there were for some funny moments in it. But man, Kate Hudson, I'd rather see Mindy Kaling in the lead role, quite frankly. And here she is falling in love with the coach. So there's that. I don't look in a comedy. You should have those kinds of relationships, but it probably shouldn't be in a comedy like this. It probably shouldn't be realistic, and they're kind of making it a little too realistic. This should be a little more over the top. It kind of approaches that, but doesn't really get there. It's not really all that outrageous. February 27th. Oh, that's tomorrow. Kate's just not very funny. She doesn't have the comedic timing. Caitlin Olsen would be great in this show. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, like, there's a scene she sees the coach working out and gets a little hot and bothered, but it's not really all that funny. Caitlin Olsen would make that hilarious. That take of her getting horny for, like, some hot dude. Oh, yeah. She'd be all over that. The other problem with Kate is she's a little too hot for the role, and she just doesn't have it. She's just not funny to me. That isn't to say there aren't funny women that could be cast, but if you're going to build the show around Kate Hudson and it's a comedy show, yeah, I wouldn't have put her in the lead. I don't think she can carry a comedy. So there's no 3-act breakdown here. It's basically a family of rich people who run a professional sports team, and they got millions of dollars. So not a whole lot of danger there. She has to bring the team back from the brink and make trades and stuff. It also doesn't feel as strong with a woman in charge. I don't feel like she knows sports. Like, I've seen sports comedies before, and they're rattling off the names of various sports figures in the sport around the fake team that's usually in the show. You see none of that here. Why aren't you doing that? Why isn't the show filled with sports cameos, or at least potential sports cameos? Like, I watched The League, and as you know, I'm not a big sports ball fan, but The League was one of the funniest shows on TV. It was about a fantasy football league, and those guys constantly talked about other football players and teams and stuff, and they made snide comments about them. And although I'm not super up on sports, it was enough that it was funny. Here, that's sort of missing. They're too interested in, I think, feminizing it a little bit. And maybe this might be an area that Mindy Kaling, although she is funny, how much does she know about basketball, really? Where are the writers that know something about basketball? Where are the jokes about LeBron James? Like, yeah, I think you need something like that. Now, maybe they can't make those jokes. They couldn't get the rights or whatever. They feel like they can't use images of LeBron or whatever, or people like that. But I think you can mention them. I think you could throw out their names. I don't think you need a licensing deal for that. So it doesn't feel super strong to me. Running Point. The balls are on our court now. Game on, boys. See, right there, it's going to be men versus women. Don't like. Game on, boys. Kate Hudson stars in Running Point, a new comedy series from executive producer Mindy Kaling. Premieres February 27th on Netflix. See, this is the only... They're not telling me much about the story and the possible comedic things. They're pushing Kate Hudson and Mindy Kaling on me. That's not enough to push a comedy show. Okay? It's not enough. Like, if you told me there were some comedians in this, then yeah. Like, if you told me, I don't know, Kevin Hart was going to show up in one episode, or he played some side character. I don't know. Is there a guy who's a stand-up comic who kind of looks like a basketball player you could throw in here? Maybe Jay Farrow? I don't know if he's tall enough, though. Maybe you could have Shaq show up. He's kind of funny. I mean, something. It doesn't feel like you know the subject matter. So, yeah. All right, finally, as you know, I can't stand Nicole Kidman, but this is Holland. And I believe it's a movie about Holland, Michigan, not Holland, the country. It's about a woman who has a perfect life in a town, and everything's perfect. But there's some sinister secret. What is it? I have no idea. Because the trailer doesn't even hint at it. I mean, it just has her sneaking around with some other dude. Doesn't hint at all what it could be. Is it the Stepford Wives? I don't know. Here's one headline about a nurse found dead or something. Let me turn the sound off, see if I can get to it again. Yeah, I don't know. Has she been cloned? Here's her friend who's trying to figure out the mystery, and then he gets attacked. I don't know if this is meant to be funny or weird or what it is. Golden Globe winner Matthew McFadden. He's one of the guys in it. One of the actors. Written by Andrew Serdursky and Mimi Cave. Rated R for adult situations. I'm also not a big fan of these movies that start with a perfect, there's a perfect couple and they've got a son and she is a happy homemaker, but there's something sinister about it because no one's a happy homemaker. In Hollywood, anyway. So I'll take a stab at it. First act, she has a perfect life, but there's something sinister. Second act, she, I don't know, keeps having blackouts or something, or maybe she I don't know, she discovers something and then investigates and then finds more stuff and then teams up with her wacky friend to search. I don't know what the death of the nurse has to do with anything. Again, maybe she's a clone. Maybe it's a Stepford Wives thing. She's a clone and they have a bunch of cloned wives and they do whatever they want, and that's the way it goes in this town. And then she finds that out, and then they try to kill her and replace her, and they're all prepared to replace her, maybe. I don't know. There's like nothing here. And I think it's a movie. I'm going to assume it's a movie. Thanks a lot for telling me, trailer. So, Holland. A woman's picture-perfect life in quaint Holland, Michigan crumbles when she and a friend uncover a twisted secret in their midst. Okay, so no information there. Yeah, it is a movie. So, yeah, I have no idea what this is about. All I know is Nicole Kidman's in it, and I'm not a super fan. All right, so this is a real race to the bottom for me. So it's Nicole Kidman and Holland, a comedy show with Kate Hudson that looks fatally flawed, and Nick Cage doing the Nick Cage thing. So what would be on the bottom? I got to put Nicole Kidman on the bottom of this. I mean, it just doesn't look great, whatever it is. You're not going to tell me in the trailer? You're not going to hint at it? Give me a hint of what the secret is. What's the secret? Is it a murder? Is it the whole town is a simulation? What? It could be anything. You got to give me something. Why am I going to watch this? For Nicole Kidman? I don't trust Nicole Kidman. She's made a lot of poor choices, I feel, in her career. Two would be. It's a real tough choice, but number two, I guess, would be Running Point, simply because it's a show and it's a lot longer than the movie. Even at a half-hour increment, it's probably going to be about 4 hours of watching. I can't stomach 4 hours of Kate Hudson trying to be funny. She's still really hot. I like looking at her, but I don't find her funny at all. Not in the slightest. There's a funny bit about she put her breast on the internet. That's kind of funny. It's kind of cool. And they even like show you there's like a shot of her posing with topless with basketballs in front of her. That's kind of cool. I'll give her some props for at least trying to be funny and doing, but she just doesn't have it. The guy who plays Jimmy from Caitlin Olsen's show, I could watch him all day, so I would maybe struggle through this. At least the scenes with him in it would be funny. But I gotta feel like most of this is gonna be messaging about like, oh, she's a woman in a man's world and she's making it. Oh, she showed the boys. Ugh. And number one, but it's kind of a weak number one, is The Surfer with Nicolas Cage. Again, it just feels a little too on the nose for his brand. Like, it feels like another version of Mandy, if you've ever seen that. Now, Mandy, though, I didn't know what the F was going on until I watched it. But there were a lot of intriguing hints, and he was just absolutely bonkers in that movie. In this, I feel like it's going to be like Mandy, only a lot sadder. I feel like he's going to lose in the end. And it feels like he's becoming a trope, right? He just does these movies where at some point he snaps and just kills everybody or goes crazy because something terrible happens to him. I think Nick Cage is a little better than that. I know he's really good at going crazy, but, I think he deserves a little better than to be in sort of a tropey movie. But that all being said, I would give The Surfer a chance because Nicolas Cage can be a very surprising guy. He could do some cool things. I hope this just wasn't an excuse for him to go to Australia for 3 months and hang out, but we'll see when it comes out. All right, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan, somewhere in the background. Thanks for tuning in today. I will be at Ren's Coffee Shop and Bookstore in Blackwood, New Jersey this Saturday, 11 to 2, for Lunch with the Jersey Devil. And I'll be telling all my Jersey Devil stories. I'll have all 16 copies of the Pineys, and I should, on that day, be able to announce that book 17 is out and available at Amazon. So it's all coming together. Hope to see you there. We'll see you